Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to try to make another video holding the phone. So I apologize ahead of time because you're going to probably look into the abyss here a couple of times in my studio. So this is the spool I buy, the 15-pound spool. And you can kind of see it. It's sitting on here. And I usually just pull to the length I want. I don't ever go more than 6 foot if I'm working on something smaller. Sometimes I even keep a piece of string or lanyard and just kind of go around my piece to kind of get an approximate and add an inch or so before I cut it so I'm not wasting the lead. I just use a pair of nippers or cutters and cut it. I just know I'm gonna sacrifice this end. You could have a nice pair of leading nips and you could prevent that problem, but I don't worry about it. I just go ahead and know that I'm just going to lose a little bit on each end. So I have a piece sitting down here that was some scrap from earlier. Again, I apologize. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. So I basically normally would have this on my spool still, and I'll nip off the piece I kind of have. And you'll see this is the piece I nipped off, so it's wonky to a point. You want to be careful, like with any lead, and try to keep it from twisting or spinning. But you'll see next to this piece how this one's nice and hardened or pulled, and this piece is loose and kind of wonky. So I use a traditional vise, and all I do is I slide it into my vise like so, and I close it. So just give me a second to try to do that while we're sitting here talking. Oh, can't. 3 hands would be much better to make this little video for you, but I just put it kind of in. I usually put it in maybe half of an inch or so. You could do less. Sometimes you'll pull, and you need to be careful around yourself. If you pull too hard and it breaks, or if you're not really sure the first couple of times, you can pull it enough that you'll go backwards. So just kind of be on your game and just be ready for it. So I usually take my hand at first and kind of draw it, and that's just to try to make sure that it's straight and all one way without twisting, because sometimes, you know, when it comes off, it will be twisted. And then I just take a pair of pliers, and you could use any type you want, and I just kind of grab that end, and very hard to do with one hand looking through a phone. And then all I'm going to do is kind of get myself straight and pull. And as you watch, you'll see how all of a sudden it goes straight. And you'll feel it pulling at first, and then there'll just be resistance. You can keep on pulling. It's going to eventually break at a weak point or pull out of that vise. But you're just getting it to the point where, as you can see now, it's nice and straight. There's no give anymore. When you have it in your hand, it's very pliable at the beginning. It's still pliable, but it's nowhere near as soft. You know, they call it hardening, I guess, in a way. So just I pull it out of the vise at that point, and you'll see, like, on both of these pieces here, I'm going to have a little bit that I sacrifice, and I just use a putty knife. There are lead knives. There's all different ways you can do it, but I find a putty knife at a straight angle, and will cut it and not distort it and give me a nice perfect edge. Hope that helps. Thanks.